want to have, and how we become more broke is car payments, right? And these are things that uh, have been proven. There's been a lot of individuals that talk about it, a lot of practice and theory. These are things that are not science, right? These are things that are practical. But unfortunately, I have met a lot of individuals that uh, they have. Most of us believe that. Hey, we're back, and I just wanted to go ahead and share with some thoughts with you guys today, as usual. Welcome back to the channel, and as I focus more on my, uh, obviously, the whereabouts and the knowledge of, eventually, hopefully, for all of us here and everybody that's along with me in the journey, especially millennials, we are here on a wealth building journey, right? And a lot of the times, most of the times, it's a much easier than we think, but at the same time also a lot more difficult than to say. Well, a lot more difficult to do than to say it. I can easily say I'm gonna go ahead and put away some money every month. It's a lot more difficult to actually do it, right? To actually find the money, put it away, and discipline ourselves to actually do it. So I came up with a couple of ideas and some of the topics as well off of my mind that I've read in some books that I've read along the years, and some of the concepts that kind of made me think twice before doing things that I really want to do. Being obviously a millennial, I love, we want to have comfort, we want to have style, we want to be able to show our statuses around. And normally, most of us do that with the materialistic things that we have in life, things that we buy. Sometimes we do it because we love it. Sometimes we do it because we want to feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of success, and in order for us to do that, you have to show your status to your other friends, family, strangers, even to let them know that you are at a certain level in your life and a certain status. And although I believe that we all are entitled to our own happiness and we all do deserve success and well-being, sometimes it could be at the expense of our own future uh, income and future wealth, because we are living these lifestyles and statuses that we can otherwise choose not to, and build our future wealth for ourselves, that in the future we don't have to kind of go out there and slave away or be out there and working at those jobs that you might not like, and you do them just most of the time just because of the high salaries or the benefits that it has. And most of us do fall in those categories. We're doing these things because of the salary and benefits, not because we love it. Yeah, eventually you kind of become content and you love it, but most of the times, a lot of people are just going out there because of the income. And hey, to each his own. Whatever makes you happy, it's okay. I'm not here to judge, but let's look at how much more difficult it is to take action. And one of the ways I think that we're becoming ourselves, we're taking away from our future wealth and from our future, I would say, becoming the wealth that you want to have, and how we become more broke is car payments, right? And these are things that have been proven. There's been a lot of individuals that talk about it, a lot of practice and theory. These are things that are not science, right? These are things that are practical. But unfortunately, I have met a lot of individuals that they have. Most of us believe that car payments is the only way, that we cannot get away from it, that it's the only way to do it, that it's kind of like your life. It's kind of like part of life. For me, like it was part of gym memberships. I feel like gym membership was the only way of life. There was no way else to do it, and now I'm kind of forcing myself because of the whole pandemic that I have to kind of work out from home and come up with different workouts and buy certain things that I never had bought before because I didn't want to expose myself to the situation, and found out that it's actually not that big of a deal. I can actually do it from home and not have to pay a membership, right? But I feel like car payments kind of like looked at it the same way. Like people understand that, oh, if you have a car, you have to have a car payment, and it's kind of like the only way you can do have a vehicle, and it's kind of like I feel like it depends, I guess, where you live. Maybe you are driving a lot of, you're driving in such terrible conditions, or you're driving a lot of mileage on a daily basis, and you're gonna need something relatively new, because your semi-used car might not hold up because of the conditions you're putting it through. But for the most part, I think most individuals, we use vehicles just to get around, right? Whether it's to go to work, whether it's to go uh, shopping, maybe a small trip here and there for a getaway, uh, and we're not really doing right. We're not really doing long trips daily, unless you are commuting from a very far state to state a daily basis. But for the most part, I would say commutes are relatively from like an hour and a half, depending on where you're commuting. But most of the commutes are like 30 to 45 minutes driving. I would say hour and a half is a long time, but some people do that. But most people it's 30 to 45 minutes, an hour max commuting in their vehicles, right? And these are just numbers. It might be different from state to state, but the average. And I feel that most of the time, used cars will hold up relatively well, and you can buy a relatively non-expensive used vehicle for anywhere from 5 to 10K, depending on what you're looking for, right? You're looking for a luxury, then obviously it's not happening. But if you're looking for just a practical vehicle to get you around, not crazy on style and not fancy, but does the job, you can get kind of a vehicle for that price. And also, it's not gonna be that bad in mileage. It will obviously be up there in mileage, but it's not gonna be over. The whole point of the video is that if you're struggling to find money to invest, and you're like, well, I want to get started on my future. I want to get started on building wealth. I want to start putting some money away, and I can't seem to find it. And Anthony, well, listen, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm making 75 grand a year, and I don't have money to start putting money away from my wealth and investing in the future. I feel that for a lot of us, especially those that are making great income, that's kind of an excuse, right? You're probably you're either living above your means, or you're not living below your means. You're not letting some of the extra income for yourself to choose what to do with it. And one of the ways that I feel that a lot of us can kind of cut down and find money in our budget is by eliminating the car payments. And you can be like, whoa, hold up. I can't drive no hoopty. I can't drive no old cars. I need to have my end of the day style, flashy. Great. If you want to do that, great. By all means. But if you want to go ahead and get a second job, and start investing, that's fine. And sacrifice your body and time, great. But if you don't want to do that, then let go of that new vehicle. Get something used for yourself. Eliminate the car payment and put that extra money. Now look at this. The average study has shown that the average car payment is up around, they said about, I think 400, depending on the cars, $400 to $500 a month, right? So think about that. Let's take that into consideration. If you put $400 a month at an average rate of 8% for 30 years, this is how much you would have had in 30 years, right? So now your car, your vehicle, your fancy car is costing you this. Now, if I'm no Einstein, and I am no math expert, but this is a lot of money, and that car is not worth that money. So maybe this would put into perspective that we're trading in our future wealth for this, I would say, current status. And I hope that if that is what you're doing, then we need to rethink why it is you're doing it, and where it stems from, and why you might want to change. And again, everybody has their own way of living. But what if you take that 500 right now, 400 from that car payment, save up for, let's say, a year, buy something that's maybe $4,000, $5,000, save up for another year, buy something sell that car for the same price you bought it. It might not lose that much value within a year. You figure you have another $10,000 to buy yourself something used, and that vehicle will hold up on you besides regular maintenance. Now, maintenance, it all depends on the visual, so I'm not giving any numbers. But for the most part, something that's basic, and a driving basic maintenance for the year, let's say brakes and oil change, you're looking at about, let's say, I would say $400 to $500, depending on the cars, to maintain it for the year. aside from the main things like something that might need a major change. But for the maintenance basics, I would say $500 a year is enough. As far as oil change, fluid change, brakes, maybe change some tires here and there if you need to. But for the most part, that's an average maintenance of a vehicle, aside from registration and inspection. So $500 a year you want to set aside for maintaining your vehicle. So instead of going from $500 a month, which is about $6,000 a year, you're spending $500 in your car, and now you're keeping that $5,500 and you're investing it. So let's say we put away $6,000 a year for 30 years at 8%, and this is what you get. Food for thought. Hopefully this kind of gives you guys a little bit of a brainstorm and wakes you guys up and lets you know that, maybe our cars are not worth it. I hope you guys got some good information on this video, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.